Who knows? I'm not sure. But nonetheless, as I mentioned at the top, I am, oh, there we go. As I was about to talk about something that he would probably want to talk about, we have our first guest has decided to jump in just in time. The General Kenobi's bunker. Why are you shutting down the Star Wars hotel, sir?
Hey man, it had to be stopped. All right, it just had to be done. All right.
I was about to hit the tab, and then I saw that notification. I was like, just the man to talk about it. Welcome, sir. How you doing today?
Doing good, and congratulations, 150 shows. Come on,
It's crazy. That is crazy.
Insane.
Actually, no. Hey, let me switch back real quick. Make sure you're on this view too. There we go. 150 out of nowhere. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I know that's incredible, man, and it's a true testament to your consistency, to your audience, to all of the work that you guys put into this channel. So congratulations. Not an easy feat to achieve. I'm like not even a third into it, and I want to quit. So congratulations. So very well.
I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I want to quit from time to time.
Yeah.
But yes, I saw it come through, and I was so excited because, first I want to get your thoughts before I go all rogue here and start just going off the rails here.
Sure.
So they announced today, for anybody who is not aware, Disney is to close the Star Wars hotel, the Star Wars hotel that opened in Florida last year. This is the Galactic Star Cruiser. That was a nice cheap, $6,000 a night per person or something like that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was something like $6,000 for 2 nights, which I think it was like the only option.
Mm-hmm.
Which that already is kind of like, okay, well, can I just stay one night? They're like, nope, it's gotta be 2 nights. And I'm like, okay, well, can I make it any more than that? And they're like, nope, I said 2 nights. I'm like, come on, man, like,
yeah,
what is this?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's I was barely saving up for that, and I was projected to go there like in 2026. So looks like I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah,
but see it right there. Booking started at 4,800 for 2 guests.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably like on a full size bed or something. Like nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, get me. Yeah, the concept itself, right? Like when you hear about it, yeah, it sounded awesome and whatever. It was an immersive experience, right? You basically got characters assigned to you and your family, and you would write out the experience, right? So you were all immersed, so to speak, right, into the theme, obviously into Star Wars. But I mean, yeah, those prices, man. Everything has changed after the pandemic. Everything's still going up, getting more expensive. So 4,800, starting, right? Like you said, for 2 people, you got a family of 6. What's that gonna run you, right? Let alone getting there, right? Flights, or if you're driving, whatever, like that. Yeah, that's just a whole lot of money for maybe not a whole lot of experience, honestly.
Yeah. And you're not even getting you explaining the Star Wars hotel. I did it again.
Ouch.
You explaining the Star Wars.
They would not have shut it down if it was that.
It would still be here if it was truly the hotel.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
The Star Wars hotel, you explaining it was convincing me to even want to go, price aside. Because you're like, you get a Star Wars character with you, they get attached to like your group or something, you get to meet characters, all this kind of stuff. But then you realize these are brand new characters half the time.
Correct.
Ones that they just made up. You don't get to ride the Millennium Falcon like in addition to the other ride. You don't ride in any ships that you're familiar with. You're literally on a brand new ship made for this. And you go to a world that was, again, created just for that adventure. So you're paying $6,000 for zero nostalgia.
That's what I was going to say, right? So you get me to stay in Yavin 4. You get me to stay at Echo Base. You get me to stay at even Endor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a whole other ball game.
Conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, you get me to stay at a undisclosed location that nobody has really heard about because, like you said, it just didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even giving me like a cool backstory. I was like, oh, by the way, this planet is the birthplace of Yoda, right? I'll
Right.
be like, oh, okay, this is a new thing, but
Yeah.
they're tying it to one of the biggest characters, like something like that. Make
Mm-hmm.
it like the new Jedi Academy under Luke, like something. Like if you're gonna give me something new, like you said, you have to tie it into the ones that we care about, right?
Yep. Yep.
You have to make me care if it's something brand new.
Yep.
um, and it's just not there, honestly. You're not even my understanding at least is that you're not even like Jedi Padawans or Sith
No.
Padawans. I think it ranged from what's it called, like merchants and like travelers, and like kind of like run of the mill people within Star Wars even, right? So I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I get that at home, right? So like what's the incentive here?
Yeah.
uh,
No, and it's funny because you mentioned, just now about not being a Jedi or anything, but I thought that was also part of the original allure. They were like, oh, there'd be like Jedi Padawan training, and they showed them doing the game with the lightsaber, but it wasn't even that good. So I'm
I
like,
think so. I think for the children, maybe it was part of it, but
yeah,
I mean, if I'm shelling out 6K,
right,
I want my own lightsaber, I want my own Jedi robe,
yeah,
like I want to be part of this experience.
yeah. Actually, before we continue, I'm going to try closing a window. So if you get disconnected, I'm sorry. Just jump back in.
Sure.
Hang on. Let's see.
We'll blame it on technology. Sure.
All right, you're still here. Great. There's always, whenever I have a guest on, a little behind the scenes thing, I have their window to the side, and it blocks my view a lot of times. So I was like, I wonder if I can close that and still have you on, and it's working.
Yeah.
Great, wonderful.
Nice.
The other thing too, like kind of again, you're hitting all the points. You're doing this, as it says here on ABC News. This premium boutique experience gave us an opportunity to try new things on a smaller scale of 100 rooms.
Right.
You're entering the Star Wars world, and you can't even cosplay if you wanted to. Like they don't even let you dress up as a character.
Exactly.
They don't let you interact with things like that. You have to be a normal person in this crazy world that you're a fan of. And again,
Right.
you pay all that money and you can't even have fun if you wanted to. You have to just follow that rule, dress like a normal loser.
Exactly.
And you can't even bring your own lightsaber.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I don't know. I remember when first hearing about this, I was like, okay, this is like like an overnight experience at Galaxy's Edge, right? Type of thing.
Yeah.
Where you might get to see the attractions, like maybe you have like guest only time slots. I don't know, later on in the afternoon or at night, where you get to go to the rides, right? And it's just you, right? But
Yeah.
no, this was a whole like separate thing, like the article says, right? Like it was its own little world. And I don't know that it offered just enough of an experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I said, the concept sounded great. The technology was there, I'm sure, but like you mentioned, the nostalgia, the why do I care, right? Factor was just not, honestly.
Yep. Crazy. And this ship looks like something out of just sci-fi. Like this
Right.
This doesn't look like Star Wars. Nobody would look at this and be like, "Oh, that's definitely Star Wars." Like,
Yeah.
it ain't working. Absolutely ain't working.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look Carillion. It doesn't look, Mon Cala. It doesn't look Imperial. Like, it like you said, it's just kind of blend, right?
Yeah. And you look at this thing and you're like, "Oh, wow, this is pretty amazing." But
Right.
you really can't do any of that stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, you might as well watch it on YouTube, right? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, you have very, how can I say, very scripted, I guess, opportunities, but at the same time, you cannot deviate like at all. At least that's what I understood.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they were doing it by the end of things, but um, I've heard from a couple of people that live out in Florida, some YouTubers here also, that that have the passes and stuff, that they've been sending out coupons like crazy, like 50% off, 60% off, 70% off, like just come in, please, type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess it was true because that's yeah. I'm assuming they were just bleeding out money.
I mean, all I'm saying, they may have sold me just now because $6,000 and I get to eat some General Gao's chicken. I mean, you
Ooh,
might, or maybe
color
it's
me.
like General Leia's chicken or like
There you go.
General whatever's, or instead of Kung Pao chicken, it's like Kung Pao porg or something like that.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great. That'd be great.